What is up, everyone? Coffee Break is back with another video. Niners, baby. Niners. Victory Monday is here. Never felt this good. Just picture this, Niner fans. You're down your star running back. You're down a corner, 2 safeties. You're down not only your starting center, but your backup center too, and a bunch of defensive linemen. And you go to Foxborough to face Bill Belichick, who had lost 2 in a row coming in. The 49ers get there and outcoach, outplay, out-physical. Just put a whooping on the New England Patriots. Something no one has ever seen. And boy, what a clinic Kyle Shanahan had again in back-to-back weeks. But let me start here. The 49ers have found an identity, folks. Through the first 5 weeks, the Niners were still trying to find their way. They battled through injuries early on, and it really altered the way the team would look. The defense is no longer a sack-heavy defense they were last year. This defense had to evolve to a pass coverage, defensive sound defense led by none other than All-Pro Fred. Fred Warner is so damn good. He showed you yet again why he's the best linebacker in the NFL. If Warner played in the East Coast, they would praise him as if he were like Ray Lewis. The man just makes plays for this defense and just flies to the football. He's on every play, it seems like. Like I mentioned, this pass rush, again, doesn't get many sacks. You would think they dominated in that category just based on how the game went. You think they had like 5 sacks in this game, but this defense had one sack. But they wreak havoc, man. Kinlaw and DJ Jones are run stuffers. Kerry Hyder Jr. has balled out this year. I don't know where this defensive line would be without him, to be quite honest with you. They made the Patriots get into their passing game early, which the Patriots obviously didn't want to do that. And I knew once they eliminated that run game, the Niners had them right where they wanted them. Cam Newton was terrible, threw 3 interceptions, was inaccurate. He really did have time in the pocket, but this defense was covering so well. Jamar Taylor had 2 interceptions. Great game by him, who was replacing K'Wan Williams, who may be back next week. But this guy, Jamar Taylor, was a guy the Niners had released before the end of training camp, and now had to bring him back due to injuries. And you're seeing the level of play this guy brings as a backup nickel corner. Those are hard to find, and the Niners seem like they have 2 pretty good nickel corners. Fred Warner, another impressive interception, and Emmanuel Mosley, another interception. And since Emmanuel Mosley has played, this defense has gone to another level. They hit that extra gear after the Miami game, after the disastrous game. They went on an extra gear and they haven't looked back. And this is not even mentioning the 2 safeties that were out. Marcel Harris and Tavarius Moore played fantastic. This really showed you how deep this 49ers roster is. They are really playing every guy possible this year, from backup quarterbacks to backup centers to backup safeties, and they're right here in stride. Week 8, going into week 8, they're right there in stride. Just an impressive win. And it all starts with setting the tone. Niners set the tone early, came in there, started thumping boys, laying them out. To quote David Goggins, 49ers were just taking souls, even on offense. They were running hard, and Jimmy played the game you want him to play. He still had 25 attempts for the game. The first interception was a real bad one, I will admit that. Jimmy was accurate early and just sailed one for the interception in the second drive of the game. But he played well overall. Didn't really need him because the run game is where it was at. Jeff Wilson Jr., hasty, Hell, even Debo was back there. I mean, everyone was running with a chip on their shoulder. We talk about identity. I mean, the Niners have figured it out on offense. Run the damn ball with your playmakers. That's it. And Shanahan is finally doing it, but in his creative fashion. Just a play calling clinic by Shanahan, and it's an incredible job overall. Shanahan was simply having the Patriots cover the entire field, and Jimmy, for the most part, made the correct reads, which leads into blocking. Your bread and butter on offense. What were they doing? Well, let's just say when you're not really talking about offensive line during the game, they must be doing a pretty good job. And they did, for the most part. I mean, starting with Trent, who had back-to-back atrocious weeks at some point this season. He's really picked it up. Daniel Brunskill, I mean, I don't know who this guy is anymore. He looks like a completely different player than he was at the start of the year, in a good way. Obviously, we talk about the center, but no issues there. A couple of high snaps, but nothing to write home about. Good job overall. McGlinchey, good job overall. So, offensive line, I gotta give him credit. The most credit out of any area of the team. Offensive line deserves the most credit in these back-to-back victories. They've really picked up the pace here and have challenged themselves and have performed against, well, last week against an all-pro defensive tackle, and this week against Bill Belichick's defense. So good job overall there. Kyle Juszczyk also was incredible in the run game, just pancaking fools on that football field. The guy is an elite blocker. Kyle Juszczyk reminded everyone what kind of weapon he really is at fullback. Not a lot of people carry fullbacks, but Kyle Juszczyk is a Swiss Army knife. He's like a fullback mixed with tight end, mixed with an extra lineman. Like, it's incredible to watch him get going. I mean, whenever Kyle Juszczyk really has a nice game, the offense in general performs well. So it's always nice to see Juszczyk play well and get more reps. And so, yeah, part of why the running game is so successful as it is because of Kyle Juszczyk. So the Niners, I mean, are firing on all cylinders right now. I don't think there's a defense that could slow them down. I mean, weapons, mismatches everywhere across the field. And this is what I mean. Stephon Gilmore going up against George Kittle on 3rd and long. This was early in the game. I don't know if you remember this, but Kittle with that separation, Garoppolo on time, delivering the football, picks up the first down. I mean, those are the type of mismatches where on paper you're like, all right, Gilmore got some shut down. But when you play that game and you watch the tape, nobody can guard Kittle. Nobody can bring down Debo. Nobody was able to bring him down. Nobody was able to bring down Jeff Wilson Jr. Hasty looks shifty. I mean, playmakers across the field. And this is what we envisioned coming into the year. And I'm glad the 49ers are starting to pick up the pace, are starting to get into their full stride as we near midway point of the season. And then we talk about Brandon Ayuk. Had his first career 100-yard game, had 6 receptions for 115 yards. I mean, he's continuing to improve every week. It's remarkable to see him. You know, I've said it. I'm like, he may have a better rookie year than Debo did last year, and he's on pace right now. He really is. And it's scary how good this guy can be. And also, like, on TV, Ayuk just looks bigger than what he actually is. I mean, I don't know his actual height, but he's not like 6'3", 6'4". I think he's like 6'2", 6'1". But he has like big shoulders, long arms. He looks taller than what he actually is. And I think it's hard to bring him down because of those long arms. I mean, he looks like the Slender Man out there. Just those long arms and wide shoulders. So a weapon, just lack of a better word. So Ayuk just continuing to show why the 49ers took him in the first round, and slowly but surely it's paying off. And He's getting more comfortable in this offense. Kyle's getting more comfortable throwing the ball to him. Jimmy, you can see he's getting more comfortable building chemistry off of him. So it's only a matter of time where he's really going to get a grasp of this entire offense. So according to 49ers.com, they list Brandon Ayuk at 6 feet, 1 inch taller than me. I'm 5'11". So, but on TV, he looks like he's 6'3" with those big shoulders. I mean, wow. 6 feet for Brandon Ayuk. I mean, let me know if anyone else thought Brandon Ayuk was actually taller than that. Wow. I did not expect that. But anyways, and like I said, Debo taking snaps at running back. I mean, you love to see it. Debo is like, we've always said this, Debo is a running back playing wide receiver. Like, that's the type of weapon he is. And Kyle Shanahan is just displaying him out there for the NFL to see. And then Shanahan is also just making it super easy for Jimmy back-to-back weeks. I mean, I loved the simple swing passes for Jimmy to take, just lay it there for the backs, easy layup throw, and then you just gobble up 8 to 10 yards easily on first down. Like I said, Jeff Wilson, monster game, 17 carries for 117 yards and 3, yeah, you heard that right, 3 touchdowns. So great team effort overall. And for the second straight week, 49ers put on a clinic and just really exposed the Patriots for who they really are. To be quite honest with you, I've watched some tape on the Patriots, not really too impressed. And going in, I really thought it was going to be a close game, just given the Niners list of injuries that they have. But they came in there and they exposed the New England Patriots. I think that the Patriots are below average, and they've showed that on tape, coughing up the football. Their defense was a bend but don't break type, and a lot of their opposing teams were also coughing up the football. The Niners only had 1 turnover, so that was kind of the story. Niners were able to score touchdowns, and Patriots had no shot. Patriots really had no shot of winning this game. Now on to injuries. Obviously, I don't know the severity of these injuries quite yet, but Jeff Wilson Jr. looks like a high ankle sprain. We just can't shake off these ankle sprains. Really sucks for him. Debo did go out in the fourth quarter. They were saying it looks like a hamstring, so hopefully that isn't too serious and he can actually play this upcoming week against Seattle. But more info today on that. And lastly, Richie James also left the game with an ankle injury. So a light list this week, but you hate to see it given that Wilson was just running his ass off. And just for him to get carted off like that, emotional, I mean, you never want to see that. The guy was having a career game. And so for him, I just hope that it's not too serious and he can come back pretty soon. So that is the update on the injuries that happened during the game. And now I want to talk about some improvements for this upcoming week. I know it's pretty early, but whatever. I feel like even with a victory like this, improvements are needed. Eliminate the penalties on offense. Those can be drive killers against a better team. Like we're facing Seattle this upcoming week. Penalties need to be cleaned up. You don't want to give a guy like Russell Wilson more possessions. You don't want to stop the momentum on offense. Specifically, offense had the penalties this week. Let's minimize that moving forward. But other than that, I mean, I have no other complaints. Great job this week, boys. Anyways, guys, let me hear from the faithful. Drop your comments below. What are your thoughts on running back rookie JaMycal Hasty? He looks so good. And as an undrafted rookie, I mean, people are comparing him to what Matt Breida was able to do. I honestly think that the way Hasty is moving, the way, he shifts and is able to gobble up yards, he may be a better Matt Breida than what he was early on. But let me get your thoughts on that in the comments section below. 49ers are within distance to be back on top, look like a real serious contender for the playoffs. And pretty soon we'll find out how good, because this schedule is brutal these next few weeks. So we'll find out who the Niners really are coming up. But so far, they've answered all the critics, and it's nice to see. Seattle next week. Stay tuned. Stay freaking tuned. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one, guys. Peace.